Welcome everyone. Today we'll have an artifact guide for the endgame. In this artifact guide video, we're looking to how to recreate something as good as this one with some of the perfect artifact substats roles. We're looking to the method, the strategies, and how to do this correctly with a higher chance of getting your good rolls. We'll be looking at how to identify good artifact starters that with a good stats like the critical rate, critical damage, and how to grow this artifact into a stronger artifact by testing the water. We'll also look at artifact baits like these ones with only attack increase and everything else not as great, or maybe can be a bait with defense or HP. So we want to avoid those, want to go for the good artifact starters and what to do with those. Now I'm sure most of us are very interested on how to get a perfect artifact substat rolls like this one. 16% attack, 7% critical rate, and also 14% critical damage. So over here I have made some summary notes for us for the endgame artifact substats and also how can we work towards to some of the perfect artifact roles. Now knowing that each of the artifacts start with 2 to 3 different substat roles, and also every 4 levels when we level up the artifact we get a new substat. What we should be doing is, we should be looking for different artifacts with 2 to 3 good starting stats. This can be critical rate, critical damage, attack percentage, energy gain or elemental mastery depending on the characters. To give you guys a good example of a starter artifact, on this Gladiator's Flower, I have critical damage, we have critical rate, we also have HP percentage. I don't really need the HP percentage, but I'm already starting with 2 substats that I really enjoy. And now having an artifact that we can test the water with, what we want to do is, we want to level this particular artifact to level 4, because this guarantees additional substats. Now this will not increase the existing stats, this will give us additional substats, and what we want to do is, we want to check if this is a desirable substat. Now the biggest part is knowing that it doesn't cost much to level artifact from level 0 to level 4 for the golden 5 stars or for the 4 stars, we can do this multiple times to try to start with a really good artifact. And to give you guys a live example over here, this is the artifact I'll be working on. So over here, I'll try to level this artifact to level 4, and let's see what we get out of this. Let's see if this is going to be useful or if this is going to be oh, this is not good. So this is what I want to show you with you guys. It was a really good artifact before it got to level 4. Now with a defense increase of only 16, this all of a sudden becomes an average artifact. And this is the next part. I might not want to be leveling this up anymore, because I can try to get similar stats on different artifacts. And this artifact went from good artifact into not so good. And I don't recommend leveling this up further, because you're looking at 2 out of 4 to get a good roll. And this is not good with artifact gambling. Now from this live demonstration of the example, I did not get a desirable substats. I was looking for attack percentage, I was looking for energy gain or elemental mastery. I didn't get those, and now it's time to move to the next artifact. Because I only lose 10% of the XP used over here, and there's a small chance of me getting ×2 and ×5 in the future by using this artifact. It is not good if we're going for artifacts that has less than 2 good substats. We want to look for those with 3 good substats. So this one will only have 2 of the good substats. Over here I don't need the HP percentage, we don't need the defense flat. So what this means is, we are looking at 2 out of 4 chances of getting a good roll with every 4 levels, and that is not a good idea. Now we also talked about avoiding artifact bait earlier. Over here we have a few of the 5-star artifacts with not so good stats. Notice how they started with 4 stats already, with 2 of the flat stats. HP, defense, over here you can see defense, I don't really need defense over here, and over here you can see defense and that's HP percent. Now it is very important that we notice, compared to the artifact we saw earlier, those artifacts already have 4 substats. We cannot add a new substats, so those artifacts has no growth potential. They can only roll into the values in the existing substats, and those substats are not good. So knowing the substats are not good, and without any growth potential, those are not good. So those 3 golden artifacts are a really good example of a 5-star artifact that is a bait. It is not worth it guys to get those artifacts to level 12 or even level 8, because you're looking at too many substats that are not good, you're looking at a really low chance of getting anywhere. So I won't even try to level those, likely I'll just give them away for experience. Because although we only lose 10% XP by trying, it is not worth it, and as we're going to higher levels with artifacts level 8, level 12, level 16, the cost of the experience really goes up. And again, I'll show you guys another example with a good artifact starter. This is a good starter because I can use the critical damage and critical rate. We're going to do the same thing as before. what we're going to do is we're going to rinse and repeat. We're going to try to get this one to level 4. Ooh, double up. Ooh, super lucky here. So what I can do is just to be, just to be extra careful, I'm actually going to put one there instead of all of them, just in case it doesn't work. Oh, HP, oh my gosh, I did not make it, guys. I was trying to do a live demonstration to show how lucky I am. But why? Anyone builds for HP? Zhongli can do it. Zhongli with HP scaling with critical rate damage. Face palming. So 2 tries, 2 fails. Don't feel too bad about those guys. You can see my live demonstrations. I was not lucky with those, but sometimes you do get lucky. Because what you want to do is, you want to aim for 3 really good stats before you get artifacts to level 20. Now if we come back to this almost perfect sub stats over here, you can see this artifact had attack, critical rate and also critical damage. So notice that it has 3 of the good sub stats, not just 2. So if you're going for artifacts, if you're taking artifacts to level 20, make sure you have at least 3 good sub stats. And this is very critical, because as you level your artifacts further, what you're going to see is, you're going to see the cost of leveling artifact goes massively higher. And we never want to waste artifact experience after level 12, after level 16, it's just not worth the gamble. It's much better, guys, if we start with 3 good sub stats and then work further into something like this one. This is so amazing. I keep looking at this, so I was like, one day I'll make one. Now just to give you guys a good example of a successful artifact that I took to level 20, look at this one. We started with critical damage, I got attack percentage, then I got elemental mastery. I was like, okay, this is good enough artifact for Genshin. I also got the attack flat. And similarly, on my next piece, I started with attack and also critical rate. I was able to get elemental recharge over here, and I was like, okay, this is good enough for me to take to level 20. Notice I'm always looking for 3 sub stats that I can accept. It's okay to have 1 that I don't need, but it's always nicer if I have the attack as well, or if I have something useful. Now it is also very important for us to remind ourselves to take our time, because there's no rush. Because if you're trying to rush with level 4 and level 5 artifacts, you try to get lucky, you try to spend a lot of resource on it. If you don't get lucky with your sub stats, if you're not getting the at least 3 good sub stats, then maybe you're getting a lot into the HP, you're getting a lot into defense, and this will make you feel terrible. And you waste so many days of farming for different artifacts for experience. So it is much more important, guys, start with this method, look for a good starter, then use the good starter to level 4. And then try the starter. If it doesn't work, move on to the next one. Eventually you get some good ones, and this will guarantee you get some good investment for your hard-earned artifact experience. Now before we finish, to give you guys a small teaser for the new artifact guide to come, I'm looking at different rates, different ratios. I'm also looking at different scaling of critical rate, critical damage, looking at different graphs, a lot of theories and a lot of numbers. Also excels for different artifact building, for different characters, also different stats. So I'm looking at a lot of rates, a lot of percentages to come. So stay tuned, and I'm quite excited to share those with you guys. Artifact main stat drop rate, artifact stats, you can see the geo ones, a lot of good things to come, and I'll be working on those videos for you guys very soon. Now if you found this video helpful, make sure you subscribe and also turn the little bell on for the latest news. I'll be looking towards to make more builds, guides, tips and news and event updates for us as we come further into the game. And as always, I wish you guys the best of luck with Genshin and have the most fun in exploring this wonderful world.